Okay, fantastic, guys. Hi, everyone. This is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome again to Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul. It's pleasure to have every one of you over here. And this is a special revision session which we are keeping for all the mentees and the participants from Master of Waves program. I'm sure post the 2 days of marathon which we had on 15th and 16th of Jan, a few of you might be trying to apply it. A few have given away that it does not work or you are not able to apply it. A few have hundreds of questions. That's how the wave theory is actually. And this session is being recorded as well in case you want to go through this again later on. So do not worry on that. We will be uploading this session on the platform and you will be able to access it from there. Any of your if anyone has to go back to complete certain work, you can do that. Don't worry on that. And the questions can be posted in your in the Q&A. In case I miss out on any question, then from the chat box. So I'm not ignoring you, I'm just telling you, if there are questions, you can post it in the Q&A box and I will take those questions one by one. So before we move on, I would like to know from you all, have you been tracking the path that we have jotted down on 16th of January for Nifty, forming a triangle pattern and not going anywhere because of the budget? Do you remember that? Every one of you, it is simply fantastic, right? The path is simply amazing. That is the power of wave theory, the triangle pattern where सारी दुनिया बोल रही थी कि निफ्टी यहाँ जा रहा है, 18,000 के ऊपर जा रहा है या 16,000 के नीचे जा रहा है. All of those things, and despite of that, it just works so brilliantly well. I'm myself thrilled at times कि यार कैसे possible है? We are using a technique, a method which has nothing to do physically, right, with us all, but it is working. And it's working so well along with that time. So the time, if you remember, we also talked about a lunar cycle last week, and I've been talking that 1st of Feb is Amavasya, keep that in mind. 1st of Feb is a lunar cycle, keep that in mind. The markets are going to do what it has to do. The budget might create volatility, keep that in mind. And look at it. Market opened with a gap up of around 150 points on the budget day, traded there till the budget started, post the budget completion, gave a sharp decline, and that decline is also towards the value of 17,240, which is the highest volume node. People from OTTA participants, they might be able to understand, and the mentees what I'm talking about. The highest volume node was at 17,240 exactly. That's where the dip happened, and the reversal from there from 240 towards the high of around 17,800. And now many of you might be feeling the miss out, FOMO, fear of missing out. Here is the dip today of nearly 250 points on Nifty. Whoever had that feeling of missing out, are you buying now? Okay. So never have that feeling कि यार market चला गया, trend निकल गया, I have missed out. What's in that? I mean, you missed it out because there was some reasoning that you might have done with yourself at that point of time कि यहाँ पर buy करने में समझदारी नहीं है. That's the mind that was talking to you at that point of time. And note down, that's what I say to all of my mentees who are here right now. Note down that the reason why you did not enter, okay, so that you don't have that feeling of missing out. So whenever you have that feeling, you can go back and check, okay, these are the reasons, this is my trading setup, this is my method which I follow. Since the setup was not as per what I want, I did not enter. So you will not have that fear of missing out, feeling of missing out, or I would rather say fear of missing out, because that is a very strong emotion which will make you do stupid things, and you might end up buying at 17,800, 17,750 just because you missed the trend because of the gaps. So that's all. Even now, is there a setup that you see? So I'm going to start my session with a very classic article which I wrote today itself when the markets were ongoing. on the overall path. So let me just share across the screen here. I'm going to do that very quickly. I'm again repeating, if there are questions, then please post it in the Q&A, because in the chat box, I might miss that out. So that's the thing. So once you come here, you can go to the article section. I'm going to go step by step, starting from what we did. Nifty time cycle is simply fabulous, you know. So we are going to see that later on. This is the path from the 15th of January. Are you able to see that? The path that we discussed during that period of time. Are you able to see that path? Every one of you is able to see the screen here. And the path that we shown has worked out extremely well. Basis of A, B, C, D, and now the leg E on the upside that came out, right? Now imagine for an event like budget, okay, and you know how the markets are going to be. So can you not form your trading strategy? How it can be? It depends now on your time frame. So it is very important you understand what time frame are you trading. So the path which is shown here is good for someone who is trading a 1 month time frame, okay, or maybe 2 months time frame. From that perspective, it is good. The thing is, we were expecting that to span out over a period, a little bigger period, but this BE happened over a very short, squeezed out period, which is shown at the bottom of the chart. तो हम सोच रहे थे कि शायद टाइम स्ट्रेच आउट होगा, लेकिन बहुत फास्ट हो गया. So time is always little tricky. Anyways, it did the way we were expecting it to behave. So this is another path which I showed on 25th, and यहाँ पर expectation था that there should be a triangle pattern formation kind of thing, and then wave E should come higher. You know the level of wave E mentioned here is, if you can check, 17,800. You know the Nifty high so far. I'm not saying E is over or not. For that, we need a two-stage confirmation. Right now, we are seeing that 17,800 is the level which we touched. Now we have to see if now on it behaves the way we expect it to be, or we are wrong. So we will see that. Now coming to the latest chart. Okay, I'm going to drill down. This is the lunar cycle, so I'm not getting into that definition. I'm assuming आप लोग सब वेबिनार जो मैं कंडक्ट कर रहा हूँ वो देख रहे होंगे. आपने lunar cycle already 25th को देखा होगा, which we talked about. So we will come down here now. Now once we are here, the point is, at this point of time, I have shown on as per the 15 minutes chart. Now this is something from a intraday trading perspective, if intraday or maybe a day's perspective, you know, but you need at least a candle. Do you remember the candle technique that we discussed? At least an hourly candle close above the previous candle high. Everyone remembers that, or you just forgot what we did in 2 days of time? Hourly candle close. The BMW participants, do you remember that simple technique of a close at least on an hourly candle above the high? And that will save you so much of money from doing that blunders, you know. So that is very important. यहाँ पर अगर आप देखेंगे, I've shown that the trend continues to be on the downside. So imagine, I've shown the downtrend also till this point, and Nifty touched a low here. Post that, we should see an up move. That's the path. Now I'm going to share with you something very important and very a trading secret, I would say. Wave theory will tell you the path and how mature the trend is. Okay, but you need some confirmation. That confirmation, as per wave theory, is basis of two-stage confirmation. एक तो वो, or at least a candle. So if the candle is forming bearish on the downside, wait for at least a close above the prior candle high. That is what is required. Usually hourly is most reliable. 15 minutes पे कर सकते हो, लेकिन उसकी reliability कम है. So 15 minutes I generally don't see for hourly candle close. I see for time cycle. Now the time, as I mentioned, even in the research, the time favors in this zone. So we are still in that zone. लेकिन अगर time favor होने के बाद भी there is not a candle push on the upside, you don't buy. But you know कि एक leg ऊपर का pending है. Okay. Uh, for an intraday, also hourly candle is always more reliable. You look at 15 minutes candle for sure. अगर hourly candle close हो गया तो your conviction should be much more. That is what I want to say. So 15 minutes पे false break हो सकता है. So now that we see a fall in the form of wave F, so it's a confluence of time and waves. So right now you can ignore what I'm talking about time because that will require some understanding of the cycle analysis. Right now look at the wave. So looks like we had a faster retracement of this entire fall from this leg. This was the faster leg compared to this fall. So we completed A. Ishimoku cloud B went up C, D, E, F. One leg is pending, but this F is still going on. I'm not saying to buy. I'm saying you wait. Once you have whatever method you use as a confirmation that F is getting over, then you buy for the G leg on the upside. And also remember one thing. We need a pattern to enter. Okay. There has to be some reasoning to enter. There has to be some pattern to enter. It is not necessary that you have a path, but you trade that path precisely. No. Wave theory will give you the path, but you need to get that at least one stage confirmation. Shall we go that? Are you understanding what I'm trying to communicate between two things? One is forecasting and one is taking the bet and getting in. दोनों में थोड़ा फर्क होता है. Forecasting will tell you this is how it will behave, but that forecasting will save you so much of money exactly when someone is super bullish. Okay, when everyone is turning super bullish around 17,800, we got cautious. Why? Because we know this is wavy and sudden reversal can happen. So we were cautious, and that's why buy on dips is the correct strategy. We know that. So we were not carried away because of the budget or because of those kind of things. Are you with me? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So it's important for you to first look at the forest. As I always say to my mentees, look at the forest and then you should count the trees. So first look at the forest. This is how it looks like. And then we will drill down inside it. How much way we can go, what is the short-term patterns and all of those things, we can start doing it. So shall we go on the chart now? Once this is understood clearly, and I don't see anyone asking, putting anything on the chat. I can see the Q&A is popping up, but nothing on the chat. Are you guys there with me? I just want to check that. Okay, you are there. Let me open up the chart now. Fantastic. Let me just open up the chart. Just a second. We'll open up Nifty here. I'll share that screen. I'll try check the questions. Today I don't want to be very formal and rushing through things. I want to be taking it slow one step at a time. Because we want to ensure that you are getting it. So are you able to see the screen? I'll show the faster retracement on Dow Jones also. Let's just understand this. Are you able to see the screen? Okay, great. तो यहाँ पर चलते हैं. Now, whatever we were expecting, Nifty has formed wave A up, and we want to also forecast, right? We want to do that for the coming week. What's going to happen? तो हमने क्या forecast किया था? That X will be there, A will be there, P, C, D, and E is going on right now, or over, we don't know yet, right? So that's the pattern that we were looking at, and that's the pattern that has formed precisely this one. The only thing that I'm not so comfortable right now with this pattern is The time taken by wave C in terms of the structure of wave A and B is less, but it's allowed. I mean, I don't see there is any reason for me to reject this specific pattern we are seeing on the chart right now. I think yeah, BB valid hai. Okay. Now, with this pattern in mind, how do we enter the short positions or how do we enter the long positions? Let's go and check. So this will be a daily chart. And I'm going to hide myself here, so that will help you to get that clarity. Okay. So this is a daily chart, and over here you can clearly see the low form. From there, how many candles have taken on the upside? So I'm going to rub off the screen. Let's just start measuring it. Okay. From this low, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles so far. 4 candles from this low till this top. Okay. If in next 3 days, you see this is the first candle. If you see second, third, and fourth, which retraces this leg in faster time, we get a very, very, very strong confirmation that we have topped out and bigger downtrend has started. If this happens, okay, how do we get a confirmation a little early? Can someone tell me what is the confirmation 2 stage? What is the first stage confirmation? This is the second stage I have shown. First stage confirmation for Nifty. पहला stage confirmation technique क्या है? We need to see. Let me just zoom out. So I'm going to draw not the low. First stage confirmation is not the low based on wave theory. This is A, B. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me not write it down because it's getting rubbed again and again. Let me use this tool of triangle here. C, D, and E is going on right now. So we need a BD trend line. So this is a 0B trend line, but for triangle we need a BD trend line. This is the B and D trend line. Okay, exactly, Chaitanya. Break of the BD trend line will be the first confirmation that the trend is changing. Let me just change the style. I don't need the wave, I just need the count. I'm removing this wave from here. So we need this is ABCDE. Okay, so BD trend line breaks here. BD trend line breaks below which level? Let's just check that. Break of BD trend line happens much earlier, and that will also break the Ichimoku cloud. So this happens somewhere around the zone of 16880. 16880 के नीचे BD break हुआ, which is nearly around the zone of the prior low. So ज़्यादा जल्दी सिग्नल नहीं मिल रहा. तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? 16880 तक वेट करे, कुछ ना करे, या let's go on a smaller time frame chart. Identify if there is a area where we can enter early on. Okay. Now, tell me, I start my count from where? How many candles did this fall has taken? 1, 2, 3, 4. ठीक है? 4 complete के सामने 1, 2, 3, 4th में ये high निकल गया, which means this is the low. Are you able to now identify where to start the count at least? और कुछ नहीं तो? Because majority has the question कि कहाँ से शुरू करना है? Okay. So do you have a low now? कि कहाँ से शुरू करना है? Fair enough. Next. See if this is where the count started. यहाँ से शुरू हुआ. Can I mark this as A? Is everyone agreeing? This is a non-limiting triangle. Can I mark this as A? Now tell me, if this is B, which pattern is going on from this point? Subwave, yeah. I'm marking internal, ये जो E है, इसका internal markings कर रहे हैं. If that's the B, which pattern is going on? Triangle or diameter? Brilliant. Can this be a zigzag from here? Tell me why this can't be a zigzag or a flat. Why this can't be a zigzag or a flat? The time rule. B wave should take more time than A wave, but B has taken lesser time than A. Clear है? तो zigzag तो होगा नहीं, flat होगा नहीं, दो ही पैटर्न बचता है, या तो ट्रायंगल है या डायमेट्रिक है. And zigzag needs 535. Yes, absolutely. AB आया, C आया, ठीक है, इधर D आया, ये लेग में E आया. Can I say C के अंदर का काउंट दिख रहा है आपको क्लियरली? C के अंदर का काउंट, which is A, B and C. So this pattern will now become a diametric. Okay, I'm also going to do one thing. Okay, यहाँ पर अभी E आ गया. Now, can I also say which means the last rising segment कहाँ से शुरू हुआ था? Last rising segment 17,240 से शुरू हुआ था, बराबर ना? See, अगर आपको पूरा wave theory नहीं समझा, it's okay. If you didn't understand the entire wave theory, that is fine. But if you at least got this point, कि कहाँ से wave शुरू करना है, that would be fantastic. Is it clear? ठीक है, चलिए. यहाँ पर मतलब वेव एफ आ रहा है. यूजुअली वेव एफ कितना हो? बीडी ट्रेंड लाइन इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, डायमेट्रिक में डीएफ ट्रेंड लाइन इंपॉर्टेंट है. ओके, डीएफ ट्रेंड लाइन विल बी इंपॉर्टेंट. वेव एफ यूजुअली कितना होगा? व्हाट इज द गाइडलाइन ऑफ अ डायमेट्रिक? वेव एफ टेंड टुवर्ड्स इक्वालिटी विथ वेव बी. करें मेजर? चलिए देखते हैं. यहाँ पर जाना है, फिबोनाची एक्सटेंशन देखना है. नहीं तो सिंपल है, फिबोनाची एक्सटेंशन नहीं देखो आप, सिंपल मेश. चलिए, आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ दिस इज वर्किंग करेक्टली और नॉट. लेट्स चेक. आज का क्लोजिंग निफ्टी का कहां पर हुआ है? Do you know, at around the article which I published around 1:30, I've shown a tick on the downside. एक लेवल दिखाया मैंने कि नीचे आना चाहिए. It is basis of this only. But can I simply go and buy now कि 100% of B हो गया और G आएगा और अभी buy कर लेंगे? I'm talking about trade setup now. Specifically, I'm talking about trade setup. See, understanding the concept is one. Executing that concept is the next thing to do. I will not just go and pull the trigger right now to buy exactly at that level where I think I at least need a candle to close above the prior candle high. Then I have a stop loss. With that stop, I can buy. नहीं हुआ, maybe wave F is extending. हो सकता है ना, ये तो गाइडलाइन है, रूल तो है ही नहीं. Is it clear? What about the chance of E being over as a triangle? Correct. Also, there is bearish engulfing on daily time frame. Correct. Also, there is a close below the prior day low on a daily time frame without the high being taken out. Correct. So the daily time frame पॉसिबल है कि कंप्लीट हो गया हो. We will come to the alternate scenarios if that has happened. We will come to that alternate scenario. Let's just look at this scenario as of now. Okay. So always remember, you need to have the alternate possibilities. You should never allow markets to surprise you. Remember that market should never be able to surprise you if you are prepared, if you know this is how it can behave. So we will come to that question, that point Chaitanya has raised. What if the E is over and the bigger downtrend has already started? Correct. But trade कैसे करना है वो देखते हैं. Let's now look at the DF trend line. But DF trend line तो तभी बनेगा ना जब हमारे पास में F completion का confirmation होगा. Okay. Juhi is saying, I learned so much about wave theory that I apply in my daily studies, but each revision session I get to learn completely new perspectives. It's just so amazing. It's simply fabulous. Thanks Juhi for that. So यहाँ पर F है, लेकिन F पे सी ट्रेड करना एक अलग कला है. ठीक है. यहाँ पर ट्रेड कैसे लेना है, पहले तो मैं F कंप्लीट हुआ कि नहीं उसके ऊपर ट्रेड ले सकता हूं, which means मुझे फिर समझना होगा ई इंटरनल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ F. उसके लिए मुझे कौन से टाइम फ्रेम पे जाना होगा, अभी 15 मिनट्स टाइम फ्रेम. करेक्ट. तो चलिए 15 मिनट्स पे. तो हमने शुरुआत कहां से की, हमने शुरू की बड़े वेव से जो ई बन रहा है, उधर से आवरली चार्ट पे जो ए बी सी डी ई और शायद एफ बन रहा है. दैट इज वन ऑफ द ऑप्शन. एंड यहां से हम जाएंगे 15 मिनट्स पे. इधर ट्रिगर करने के लिए हमें आप इंट्राडे कर सकते हो, पोजिशनली कर सकते हो, इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए भी टाइम कर सकते हो, क्यों नहीं कर सकते. इसमें एक चीज खाली ध्यान रखनी है, आपको ऑल्टरनेट सिनेरियोस पता होना चाहिए. ऑल्टरनेट सिनेरियोस क्या बनेगा, इन केस यहां से क्रैश आ गया कल के दिन पे और ये लोन निकल गया, ऐसा अगर होता है तो यू शुड नॉट बी सरप्राइज. क्या ऑल्टरनेटिव बनेगा, ए हो गया, बी हो गया, this will become like a C, this will become like D, this will be an E, this will be an F, and this is a G complete. I'm again repeating the alternate scenario here. Okay. So let me just rub off the screen once. I'll take a snap of this so that I can share it across to every one of you. Just 1 second. Okay. So I've taken the snap and now I will show you the alternate possibility. With that possibility in mind, it's not about confusion. See, लोग क्या बोलेंगे अगर दोनों पॉसिबिलिटी है तो वेव थ्योरी का फायदा क्या. ऐसा नहीं है ना यार. इफ यू नो द पॉसिबिलिटी यू विल नॉट बी सरप्राइज्ड. यू लुक एट इट फ्रॉम दैट पर्सपेक्टिव. व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट पॉसिबल सिनेरियो is if this is a B C D E F G. ओके. नाउ DF ट्रेंड लाइन तो बनेगा नहीं क्योंकि ये तो कॉन्ट्रैक्शन था और यहाँ पर एक्सपांशन हो गया ऐसा. तो DF ट्रेंड लाइन बनेगा तो ऐसा बनेगा, थोड़ा वियर्ड है, थोड़ा ऑकवर्ड है, ये लोअर प्रोबेबल सिनेरियो. तो DF ब्रेक होने के पहले तो आपका पूरा F लेग रिट्रेस हो जाएगा. तो टू स्टेज कंफर्मेशन आपको कहाँ मिलेगा, ओनली बिलो 17240 इवन इन दिस ऑल्टरनेट सिनेरियो. बराबर है. 17240 के नीचे ही कंफर्मेशन मिलेगा बिकॉज DF ट्रेंड लाइन ये है और वेव F इधर. तो ये फर्स्ट स्टेज कंफर्मेशन हुआ, कंप्लीट रिट्रेसमेंट ऑफ वेव G. सेकंड स्टेज ब्रेक बिलो DF. so that's the two stage you will get it. now अगर ये पॉसिबिलिटी है तो भी यहाँ पर पोजिशनल ट्रेड के लिए सेल नहीं, क्योंकि एज पर वेव थियरी, आई एम सेइंग प्योरली वेव थियरी, मे बी प्राइस एक्शन कैंडलस्टिक के बेसिस पे आपने शॉर्ट किया वो सब ठीक है, यू कैन डू दैट. एज पर वेव थियरी वो कंफर्मेशन यहाँ नहीं. तो फिलहाल हम प्रीफर्ड सिनेरियो के साथ चल रहे हैं. उसके मल्टीपल रीजंस है. पहला, एक तो शॉर्ट टर्म साइकिल. अगर आप यू हैव अटेंडेड मास्टर ऑफ साइकिल्स प्रोग्राम, you will understand and appreciate कि now your cycle will play such a vital role. इस short term cycle लो बनना है इसके आसपास, साथ में wave F equality with B हो चुका है, and tomorrow in the first opening hour candle you see a close above this candle high. Isn't that a classic indication? And the next candle takes out the high of opening hour. That's a classic indication with a small risk reward you can go long. For someone catching reversal, for someone for confirmation, then we go on a 15. ठीक है, चले आगे 15 minutes chart पे. Now understand, मैं ये सब चीजें 15th और 16th Jan को नहीं एक्सप्लेन कर सकता था because that time you are grasping the concept. Post that I'm assuming आपने videos वापस देखा होगा, you have gone through that, you have given an attempt to understand, and now I can talk in language of Elliott wave completely with you all. Okay. In situation is 17 to 40 breaks in faster time, then we would be retracing 61.8 or 80%, correct? No. If that has happened, then we might see a start of a bigger down leg. And we might see a start of a bigger down leg. Now we will go on a 15 minutes time. 15 minutes pe aa gaye hum. And now we will zoom in. And look at the Ichimoku cloud, how to do the counting. It is so super. Why I am preferring A, B, C, D, E, F, F going on and G will come above the cloud A, towards the cloud B, above the cloud C, towards the cloud B, above the cloud E, towards the cloud F, going on right now. Is it clear? So कल मैंने एक ट्वीट भी किया था that it looks classic to form a short strangle strategy. Short strangle around, you can use 18,000 as the strike price and more, maybe on the downside 70,300, 200, which is this low as the strike price. That can be the area for short strangle. Broad range. Now this was little challenging, right? Because you are anyways closing at 17,800 with such a euphoria going on, and you still doing a short strangle. Because if we know that this is wave E and this is C, let's measure how much E has already traveled and how much more can it go with this concept, Fibonacci. तो यहाँ पर आएंगे, Fibonacci projection extension लेंगे, pick up a point, plot it here. Where is 0 point gone? यहाँ पर. Wow. This is like a magic. Look at it. Can you see that? This was A, B, C, D, and this is E equal to C. To the point. Look at that. And this is a budget candle. And this was at the highest volume node. Everything looks so systematic. Okay. This is as of now. The reason I'm again warning you, you become so convinced with this. Okay, ये इतना ज़्यादा convincing लगता है कि we just simply take a trade here. Don't do that. I've done that. It is out of my experience of wave practitioner. You know, I've been practicing this for 1 decade now. I know the pitfalls. This is the pitfall. You don't be too convinced. Wait, patience. At least a candle is what I'm asking for. If nothing else, at least a candle. Okay, hourly candle is what is preferred because 15 minutes can trap you. जैसे यहाँ पर देखो, 15 ने trap किया, एक ही candle और next time निकाला. यहाँ पर भी 15 ने trap किया. So 15 will trap you. So you need an hourly candle is what I prefer. That's why. So, but this is how it's looking like. So आज day के close पे everyone is getting anxious. We are looking at ठीक है, no big deal. This is also on the trend line. Okay, Nitesh, fantastic. So this is the proper trend line बनाएंगे. So I think this will be the trend line support. Is it? Yeah, that's the trend line. So a green candle is required in the opening hour. That's the bottom line now for us to take a trade with a good stop. लेकिन वो आके नीचे चला गया, then don't creep कि stop हो गया. That will happen. This will happen. It's not that the theory is wrong. Our chart trading should be correct. Now 15 minutes पे है. Imagine away from the cloud towards the cloud, away towards the cloud. And now we need a push higher. This is also good for us. If we get a push higher, we will ride this trend for short term. एक या दो दिन. Once this is over and we get a sharp break below this low, can I say now the entry can be like a classic entry with a superb stop loss and ride the trend. This is the trade setup we need. समझ में आया? So always trade your trade setup. Don't look at it going down, going up, and getting anxious and jumping in at every time. We are not monkeys who want to jump in at every now and go. Then, because if you keep doing that, someone else is observing you. Okay? And he knows how to get away with a monkey. So let's not be a monkey. Let's ensure we have a trade plan, a trade setup. If this happens, brilliant, we will have a trade. We'll have two types of trade. One is riding this short-term up move. Next is, if then it happens, we have the trade to ride the bigger down. That's my trade setting. Now, if this does not happen, now how much will G go? G can go to equality with A. So अगर ये measure किया, what is the max G is allowed to go? Let's see that. That's the max. G has a tendency to stop at 61.8 or 76.4 of A also. यहाँ से ये measure किया, ये project किया. We are going to have this line. I'm going to remove this FIBO. I'm going to remove the other FIBO. So this is the equality. That's 100%. अभी समझ में आया क्यों हम 18,000 का put right कर सकते, call right कर सकते हैं अभी भी. But then this pullback can come, so you might have to think of 18,200. थोड़ा सा दूर कर लेते. So post the G, is it necessary that it's going to be fast? No. Now let's see. If this happens now, समझो 76.4 तक आया. See previous high तो निकालेगा एक बार. ट्रैप करना है तो. अगर और लोगों को ट्रैप करना है तो एक बार 18K भी निकालेगा. It depends. We don't know that, right? We don't. We will see. If this is happening, and then you see a slower fall, what will then be forming? Tell me. An X-ray. Fantastic. Can it not extend? It can, right? मैंने ऐसा तो बोला ही नहीं ना कि यहाँ से नीचे टॉप बन गया और फॉल आएगा. That's a possibility. So we need to. Can we not ride this trend again then? Once we have a slower fall, we can, right? So now, how much is that slower fall, and then the rise should go max allowed limit? Not above this level, 18,360. So I never said that you don't ride a E wave. I'm just saying that you pick up which leg you want to trade and trade that. You can trade the up move, you can trade the down move, you can trade the E leg which is going on, you can trade the next wave, you can trade whatever. Impulse होना जरूरी थोड़ी है. Not a single Elliott wave technique, trust me, not a single Elliott wave technique would have given you this kind of blueprint for the market 15 days prior to the budget. This is Neo wave. So I'm not criticizing Elliott wave, I'm just saying that वहां पर rules ही तीन है, इसलिए you will be subjective, you don't know for sure कि क्या हो सकता है. इधर भी surety नहीं है, लेकिन at least you have that clarity that this is the rule that it will give. फिबोनाची इक्वालिटी के लिए फिबोनाची एक्सटेंशन पे जाना है. ये रहा ट्रेंड स्वीप एक्सटेंशन. यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट लेना है, यहाँ पे दूसरा पॉइंट को स्टॉप करना है, यहाँ से तीसरा पॉइंट सिलेक्ट करना है, तो यू विल गेट दैट एक्सटेंशन. अभी कोइंसिडेंटली मैंने ई इधर ही मार्क कर रखा है ना, दैट्स प्योर कोइंसिडेंस. आई मीन दिस इज वेयर आई हैव ऑलरेडी मार्क्ड ई. एक और चीज मैं आपको बताऊंगा, ये पूरी डी लेग का 76.4 भी अराउंड इधर ही आएगा. देखना अराउंड 79-80 के आसपास आना चाहिए. दैट्स व्हाट आई थिंक. देख लेते हैं. यहाँ से पूरा रिट्रेसमेंट लेंगे. 76.4 मैं बोल रहा हूँ, तो थोड़ा सा मैं चेंज करूंगा फीप को. Can you see that? The 76.4 is coming 17,980. मैंने अभी कौन सा लेवल बोला? 17,980, right? Actually, I don't need a FIBO scale to do it. You can see and you can make out that 76.4 level. So 17,980 it is this one, where we getting 76.4 retracement. Wow, मतलब 18,000 क्रॉस करने के लिए मार्केट में बहुत स्ट्रेंथ चाहिए. It is 76.4 retracement of that D. It is 76.4 projection of G. It is 18K highest open interest value. It is also a high volume node after 17,240, which means this 18K is not going to be crossed easily. Whatever happens, if it crossed beyond 18,100, 200, then it's not going to stop. If you can apply this FIBO and just a pattern, पहले का पैटर्न छोड़ दो, ये खाली इंटरनली यहाँ से शुरू करके अप्लाई तो करके देखो, and you will be like, wow, it works so super. Go on a 5 minutes now. Okay, and now we are going to see the internal. अभी तो F wave का हमने एनालाइज ही नहीं किया जो चल रहा है. Let's look at an F wave. ना ये F wave चल रहा है, right? ये F wave का पैटर्न देखते हैं. This is a 5 minute chart. Came down wave A, went up wave B, came down. Maybe wave C is here, wave D is here. So looks like देखते हैं A, B, C, D, E, F. But ये G में strength बहुत है नीचे का. Ideally, G should fizzle out, should be lower than wave A. That's an ideal scenario. लेकिन let's just measure and check. Let's not guess. At times it looks something else, and at times it is something else. So देख लेते measure करके. यहाँ पर एक पॉइंट लिया, यहाँ पर कनेक्ट किया, यहाँ से F कंप्लीट हुआ, फास्टर रिट्रेसमेंट हुआ. वाव, एग्जैक्टली इक्वालिटी है राइट नाउ. कल देखने वाला मार्केट होगा सुबह. आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू टू गो लॉन्ग और शॉर्ट. आई एम जस्ट सेइंग G is equal to A. If now what we require, tell me, for us to get a confirmation for a short term trade. हाँ, प्राइस रेंज से भी मेजर कर सकते हो आप. सो फिबो एक्सटेंशन से नहीं, प्राइस रेंज टूल भी यूज कर सकते हो. नाउ जूम इन करते हैं. 5 मिनट का चार्ट है, ठीक है. नाउ हम अज्यूम करें यहाँ से शुरू हुआ, क्योंकि यहाँ से स्लो फॉल था, कुछ हुआ नहीं, यहाँ से शार्प आया. ये प्राइस, ये लेवल है हाई 17,615. थोड़ा सा लीवे देते 17,630 लीवे देना है हमें, ठीक है. सो कैन आई से 7630 अगर क्रॉस किया, इसको कितने कैंडल्स लगे? 1 2 3, मे बी अप्रोक्सीमेटली 40 मिनट्स. आई एम जस्ट अज्यूमिंग दैट. अगर कल फर्स्ट आवर में पेंसिल, ये तो मैं एनोटेशन है, दिस इज अ जूम फीचर, नॉट अ फीचर ऑफ ट्रेडिंग व्यू. सो कल अगर 17,620 के ऊपर निफ्टी निकलता है, if tomorrow 17,620 gets taken out in the first opening hour candle, we need confirmation as per candle also, खाली wave theory नहीं है. Opening hour hourly candle and next candle takes out the high. Can I not take a trade here keeping this as a stop loss then? How do you write G wave? 2 options. Either sell a put, नीचे का put बेच दो, or buy a call and sell a call. कौन सा कॉल सेल करेंगे बोलो? कौन सा कॉल बाय करेंगे, कौन सा सेल करेंगे अगर 17,620 आया तो? Sell 18,300 call, buy 17,600. Okay, makes sense. 17,600 ले सकते हो, 17,700 नहीं सेल करेंगे ना यार, वो तो 17,800 भी नहीं ना. See, this wave G we can go towards 17,800 also, or maybe beyond. So we might want to sell a little more far away. So maybe 18K is okay, or 18,200, up to you what you want to sell. 18,100 is also fine. And buy a 17,600 call. Why we are hedging? because we know it's a G wave and we won't want to give away in the time value. So you hedge. If it would have been a C wave, I wouldn't have asked you to hedge, but at least G है तो we need to hedge. Put अगर sell करना है तो कौन सा sell करेंगे? If we want to ride by selling a put, can we sell 17,240, 200, 17,250 or 200? You're not selling the money put, now out of the money coming week का. क्यों 240, 250? क्योंकि अगर इसके नीचे आ गया तो आपका पूरा एनालिसिस ही चेंज हो जाएगा. And this is the low of this, so you want to give at least 300 points leeway. थोड़ा दूर. Put side में हमेशा थोड़ा दूर रखना है. Is it clear? 7250 OTM looks good. Correct. Making sense? Okay. Any questions? I thought I'll be taking questions and you will be asking and I'll be answering that, but we went into the flow of the entire session and I just thought how to go about from looking at the bigger time frame to the smaller one, to the smaller one, to the 5-minute one. You go on a 1 minute and do it. It's not complicated. It's just thoda sa focus rakhna hai, you know. And you will not believe, I am able to, when I look at the markets, I don't see with this kind of intricacies when I'm teaching to you all. So I really love teaching because when I'm teaching, I'm 100% with you. Okay. When I'm analyzing, I'm all over the place. But when I'm teaching, I'm more than 100%. So I ensure that you don't get it wrong. And that's so I learn it from myself. Okay. Post pattern implication of diametric, generally retracement is 80%. Post pattern implication, but जरूरी नहीं, मतलब depends कि diametric कहाँ बनता है. So ideally that's how it is. चलिए, Dow Jones, Tarun has been asking me for some time and I've been not able to answer him कि faster retracement Dow Jones पे कैसे हो गया. This is not Dow Jones. So if you are looking at Dow Jones structure here, whatever started at this point, okay, completed at this point on Dow Jones, not at the top because वहां से retracement है. So this could have been A, B, C, D, and E. Post this completion, we had a severe sell-off, which took out this entire move in such a fast time. And yeah, Dow is little dangerous to possibly trade. It broke this low, broke this low, broke this low. Didn't close below it. Spikes as up, spikes as up. Close to yahi hua, lekin still it broke. So it looks like it has topped out as of now. And the overall pattern from Dow Jones, it is looking like an expanding triangle types of pattern here, which was an X here, A, B, C, D, and E complete here, and the down move started. Just in case this continues this way, then tell me what will it become? Not an X, maybe not an X. Yeah, X भी हो सकता है, लेकिन triangle की बात नहीं होगा. Maybe F and G, and then we will have. But looking at the sharp reversal from the top, I think it looks, even I think Glenn Ely has published a research, right? Dow has topped out, if I'm not mistaken. So looks like that. So that's why the faster retracement based on this is saying the faster retracement has happened because whatever started here has completed at this point of time. That's the reason. So looks like that way. Okay, I'm going to the Q&A. Wow, there are some questions which I have to answer again. How to predict future with the help of Ichimoku cloud, which you can't really predict future with cloud as such, with wave theory and time. So remember one thing I'm going to tell you very honestly. If you can club this understanding of wave theory, basic understanding or anything of wave theory, along with the time tool, okay, like a 15 minutes पे जाके अगर आप टाइम करके, like Firdaus in today's mentorship group, he's also said 2 p.m. पे 86 का एक cycle बन रहा है, and so if you can time it along with that, you know, then your entire practice of wave theory will take a different lead, you know. अगर वेव थियरी नहीं भी आता है और आपने अगर टाइम के बेसिस पे खाली ट्रेड भी लिया, दैट इज आल्सो गोइंग टू हेल्प। या व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज, आई एम नॉट सेइंग वेव थियरी फिर क्यों किया, टाइम ही करना चाहिए था, ऐसा नहीं है यार। आई मीन both these studies are powerful tools, very powerful tools, and if you can club both, it is lethal. It is the tool that you can't really live away with. And the best part about time is what, it's not that theoretical complicated in terms of theory like waves. It is much simpler to use, but application correctly karna zaruri hai, otherwise you might end up doing a wrong trade. Okay, then I'll take the next question. Please share your person number so I can approach you on Twitter. Traders Forum must take time. Pradeep, my mentees have those. If my mentees want to get in touch, they can. But otherwise, I don't really share that. So you can call on the office number if there is something. Otherwise, it becomes little challenging for me to answer everyone. Please give analysis on 15 minutes Bank Nifty. Okay, just a second. I think the session is going to be extended like always. I have a tendency of not following the time, at least to end the session. Okay, chaliye Bank Nifty dekhte hain. I'm not getting an individual stocks right now, please. Indrajit is saying that's called Ashish time cycle. Okay, चलिए बैंक निफ्टी के ऊपर बहुत ट्रिकी है ये, बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स चार्ट है, इतना इजी नहीं है. सो दिस वाज ए बी सी डी ई एफ जी, दिस इज बिलो द क्लाउड, सो एक्स कुछ भी कंप्लीट हुआ, समथिंग कंप्लीटेड हियर, सो यू नो डब्ल्यू एक्स कर दो, इधर वाई कर दो, सब वॉट एवर पैटर्न इनसाइड दिस फॉर्म below the cloud X, then this is A, this is B, this entire rise is C, this fall is D, which took below this. कौन सा पैटर्न बन रहा है बताओ, which pattern, tell me which pattern looks like. Neutral triangle. Ulapali saying we love to listen to you for hours. Okay, diametric नहीं है, can turn out into a diametric, extracting नहीं है क्योंकि C is bigger than A ना, C is bigger than A, so looks like C is bigger than A, right? Let's just measure. At times this can visually, it can be very much tricky, so let's just measure and check. Yeah, it is much bigger. So always remember, जो दिखता है हर टाइम जरूरी नहीं है वैसा हो, measure करके देख लो, पैसा लग रहा है. Okay, so A, B, C, D, and this is E, and E tend towards equality with A. ट्राइंगल है, लूजली प्लेस्ड रूल है. सो यहाँ पर E चल रहा है, फिबोनाची से देख लेते हैं, यहाँ से शुरू हुआ, यहाँ कंप्लीट हुआ, एंड वेव E यहाँ से शुरू हुआ somewhere around this. Wow, the E completion happens at 39,900 के आसपास, हम ऑलरेडी उधर है, 39,900 के आसपास होता है, we just were around that zone के आसपास. So that's the bigger count. From here you then go on an hourly chart. Hourly chart पे देखेंगे तो यहाँ पर D हुआ, E is going on. So simple है, कुछ भी नहीं है complications यार. यहाँ से शुरू करेंगे A, below the cloud B, above the cloud क्या चल रहा है बोलो ना, C leg, right? Do you think this will complete? Did B take more time than A? पहले तो वो देखते हैं. I think yes ना, A यहाँ complete होगा, यहाँ नहीं, क्योंकि यहाँ से तो स्लो था फॉल, सो ये कंप्लीशन यहाँ है. B did not take more time, तो ये क्या पैटर्न बनेगा फिलहाल, ABC हो गया, डायमेट्रिक या ट्रायंगल, which means we are in wave D. Wave D. That's how Bank Nifty looks like. अभी confirmation नहीं है कि D चालू हुआ है कि we just assuming that. निफ्टी का एक और पाथ बनाना है जो हमने 16 जैन पे किया था. So that's how it's looking like. तो बैंक निफ्टी भी बहुत क्लियर है. A B C D E and maybe F and G और A B C D E F और ये डायरेक्ट G. निफ्टी का पाथ बनाना है फ्यूचर के लिए, वापस से रेफरेंस के लिए काम आएगा. बट एज आई एम सेइंग ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दिस इज जस्ट फॉर रेफरेंस. ये देख के अब ट्रेड के लिए थोड़ा कंफर्मेशन के लिए वेट कर लेना प्लीज. चलिए देखते हैं what Nifty can possibly do from here on. It looks like we are in B. We completed D here. We completed C here. This is wave E going on. So path for Nifty looks like, the preferred scenario looks like we should see a little dip and then an up move, the form of wave E. Post its completion of wave E, we might start seeing a sharp, slower नहीं होगा, शायद faster retracement होगा. We might have, this is how Nifty should behave, and the next cycle low on 55 days is after 15 days. So today is 3rd of Feb. Trading sessions 15 अगर हम ऐड करते तो by 25th, so by end of March we have a cycle which is forming a low. So that's how I think it can behave and it can start. Take out this low somewhere around this zone, trap majority of the people who are turning bearish then, and show a pullback on the upside. This is how I think possibly Nifty can possibly behave. Okay, so it looks like we will behave. Pulapali saying I was desperately waiting for this, but please, I'm again cautioning you. ये assumption है. I do not want you to trade on the basis of what I have drawn right now. You need to get some confirmation, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and then you trade on what you see there. So always remember, that's important. This is on a time frame which is a hourly time frame. Daily पे देखते हैं. ये थोड़ा short term prediction हो गया. 55 day cycle भी डाल रखा है इधर. So how it can behave possibly, that's an assumption. Again, अगर इसके ऊपर गया तो it might take a little longer. So we need a one leg upside. Okay, and once we have that completion, we will have a move towards this, a bounce back. We will break this low sharply. So the move from here on can be sharp. Retracing this can be very quickly, taking out this low here, and then we might see some kind of a pullback happening. That's how we should start the fall, if it starts, because ये जो top पकड़ रहे हैं हम, this is a top for 1.5 years and it's not easy to catch. So this is the path looks like we can possibly follow on a Nifty. Okay, so that's the path. We can expect retracement post the triangle to be equal to the longest leg. नहीं, it's a non-limiting triangle क्योंकि ये top पे बन रहा है and we are going to see that. So let's see. This is just will it because of the LIC? The reason can be anything post that. Okay, so let's just go on to the questions I have to take. The next question. Okay, wow, there are like so many questions and we are already out of time. For long-term investment, can I deploy? So I'm going to be rushing through the questions now. What should happen so that Nifty tops out? Nothing. I mean, there is no reason. Inflation. If you check my video, I've been talking about inflation. I mean, I don't know why no one is talking about inflation right now, and I'm like, what is wrong with everyone? So inflation, bond yield is already discounting that. For long-term investment, can I deploy 25-30% at 72-40? No, I think you should wait for deployment of that. Down में 4 candles है और high 5 candles ने break किया है, then buy count. प्रदीप नहीं समझा क्वेश्चन. Down में 4 candles है, high 5, fifth में break हो गया ना. So you have to Gaurav sir, after D wave could we possibly do an impulse? नहीं. Corrective है ना, so all legs are corrective, so you can't do an impulse there. Faster retracement Dow Jones. Today's Nifty close was prior belows. Yes. Hence we need to wait for hourly candle tomorrow. Yes, Indrajit. When do corrective wave count? Do we need to see last falling rising segment faster retracement of the next wave? Correct. Next. So last segment का faster retracement. Should be doing ABC currently? Yes. जो मैंने बताया. Sudipta, I'm not doing zeal count. Good evening. Can we please give wave count breakup of Bank Nifty in 15 time frame? Banu Rekha, we did that on a bigger time frame. I'll publish that in my research report if that would help. How to differentiate what pattern unfolding between triangle and diametric? Diametric and triangle, Dr. Ajay, I think you are you there in the mentorship Telegram group, Ajay? So we'll carry on the discussion there to save on the time. The intricacies of NeoWave, I've just explained. Whatever things that you should know for NeoWave, I've explained that. Bitcoin USD, I'm not doing. Ending diagonal or expanding triangle. The end of ending diagonal will happen once you see faster retracement below wave fifth. Expanding triangle will happen. You will not see faster retracement of wave E in expanding triangle. Remember that. So expanding a completion के लिए there is no confirmation. Expanding triangle completion के लिए कोई confirmation नहीं है. Fast last leg will not get retraced faster. When I enter stock option trade due to volatility and time decay, I lose money. Please suggest. That's why you have to buy. No, sorry, not buy. Sell options. This is the time when you the next down and edge karo. Buy kiya out of the money, sell karo. Ichimoku cloud expansion and contracting indicates the trend. Yes, it indicates sideways action. Agar expansion ho raha to or a trend. So Sanjay will discuss that again. More on that Ichimoku cloud में फिलहाल तो हम wave पे focus कर रहे हैं. Sumedhi Singh, thanks for the revision. It's always inspiring. Thanks. So the session is not yet over, Sumit. So stay tuned. Practical implementation on the chart जो हमने अभी just किया गौरव. We just implemented practically, perfectly predicted. Contraction and expansion का उसके लिए अलग से time चाहिए. Voice is good. Let me just go at the end if I have missed out. Oh wow, I'm answering the question and there are series of another ones. In triangle, we will be showing impulse pattern. Can any segment have impulse in triangle? No, it has to be corrective. When certain charts are formed and which chart precedes what? You mean patterns, Gaurav. So triangle pattern is the end of the complete pattern usually. That is preceding a reversal on the downside if it's a non-limiting triangle. As per wave, can we say Nifty is yet to top out? We just discussed that, Tarun. I think हमने अभी तो डिस्कस किया ना. Nifty का G आएगा तो टॉप आउट नहीं हुआ है, एक लेग बाकी है. Let's see how much that it goes. As long as 17,240 is protected. 240 breach हो गया, then we will look for the alternate possibility. Nifty low at 12K. Do the retracement of the entire rise from March. You will know where the low is. If Nifty tops out, then we start 61.8% retracement of this entire rise from 7,500 towards 18,000 levels, 18,600. So let's see. पहले confirmation तो मिले. We are going into analysis without understanding the basics. Vivek, I am not sure. What basics? हमने पूरा का पूरा analysis 2 दिन वही तो किया ना, wave theory. And now practically how it has to be applied is what we are discussing, right, in this session. Basics is right starting from the very beginning of wave theory. Okay. take these questions. It's the basics of wave theory. Which questions? So I would suggest Gaurav is asking anything else study in time cycle except time cycle. No, time cycle is itself something very different, very fabulous and fantastic tool, Gaurav. So time alone can be the lethal weapon. Is it clear? How to take time frame on charts according to rules of proportion so that data concludes within termination zone of square. Rules of proportion. Right now, yeah, one more thing. Rules of similarity and balance. I wrongly said rules of proportion and balance, right? Last time. That was rule of similarity and balance. Rule of proportion is something I don't really recollect me practicing from the Neo Wave Vivek. So I would not be able to explain in much detail. I don't really recollect what exactly was that. But if I remember, he has said that a wave has to be at a specific angle. So if I'm not mistaken, you can see my screen. And this is the angle which is at 45 degrees. I think this is what he referred to as the rule of proportion. I don't really recollect, to be very honest. And this is very, very minute and minor way of looking at it, which I think I'm not using that. So I'll not be the right person to answer on that. If that is what is rule of proportion you are talking about. How to plot the data for mono wave? Do we take the open, high, low, or close? For the mono wave, you take the high and the low. You don't take the close. So high lena hai and low lena. That's the mono wave we are talking about. So we never take the close. We always take the high and the low. So rule of proportion I have answered. I'm not sure. Plot data mono wave, high and the low. So you take the high and the low. Always remember that. Okay. Is there any other basic questions which I might have missed out? Always welcome. Vivek, in case I missed out your question, any other question, just feel free to post it again if that's the case. Fantastic, guys. So what we are trying to do here is we are looking at various aspects of techniques of time theory and all of those things, and I'm sure you have learned something. So keep going that. और अगर आपको time के बारे में सीखना है, so if you want to learn really or learn about time, then I would suggest, so we have a session on Master of Cycles which is happening on 19th and 20th of Feb. If that is useful for you and you think that is something that can help you, so you can do that. Mentees, we are going to have a session on this Saturday where we are going to see how to select stock for multi-bagger. So we are going to do that. So don't worry, we are going to be there. And if any questions are still pending, then you can post it on that Telegram group for mentees, which is there. So this is a very quick poll I am taking in case you want to be a part of Master of Cycles program happening on 19th-20th Feb. You can simply do that, or we have a mentorship starting by March end. So you can be a part of mentorship on timing the markets where we practice all of these things that we are discussing now. So what you saw today as in 1 hour session is just a glimpse of what we are actually doing in the mentorship program. We do for 3 hours, practice that and discuss that across during the week, during the day, what trades are taken and a lot of those things. So that's what we do in the mentorship program. Fantastic. And then it's any other questions that I have missed out? I've ensured to answer everyone's question. Okay, Gaurav Mehra is in for Master of Cycles. Okay, the recording will be made available, Gaurav. So don't worry about this session. So I will ensure the recording will be there and it will be uploaded in the specific platform on Master of Waves. So just maybe by tomorrow. So just give me a day's time. We will do that. Frequency of revision session for the mentees happens every fortnight, Tarun. So we will again meet fortnight or a week. So it's not yet that way, but yes, I ensure to keep at least a fortnight. At least I'm saying it can be more also for mentees. Confused with wave failure? Triangle में wave fail नहीं होता ना, because triangle में wave previous high निकालना जरूरी है ही नहीं. So there is no failure in triangle, Shalini. Okay, great, fantastic. I think I have answered the questions. Sure. Great, guys. Otherwise, failure happens in terminal pattern or in impulse patterns. Failure का मतलब है कि fifth wave does not go above the third wave. So that's a failure. Okay. And in terminal pattern, fifth does not go above the third. That's a failure. Or in flat pattern, C does not go below the A wave. That's a failure. That's the failure. Difference between limiting and non-limiting. If you see a triangle in fourth wave or a B wave, we call it as a limiting because it will limit only to the extent of triangle width. Non-limiting मतलब अगर कोई pattern complex correction में बन रहा है involving that X wave, then it's called as a non-limiting triangle because उसका limit नहीं है. It can go to any extent. So for example, current triangle, post it break down, there is no target it can go to. It can go to any extent. That's why it's called as a non-limiting triangle. Formation wise, yes, there is a difference. Again, that's a very minute difference that is pointed out. Is a limiting triangle will usually result into termination of the wave about more than 1/4 till the end point, which we call as vertex. So that's where it will complete. Whereas non-limiting will have a tendency to go towards till the end of the vertex. Usually that's the case. So confused with terminal wave and triangle, Pranita. Terminal is following impulse pattern. Triangle follows triangle ka rules. Terminal will form in fifth wave or a C wave. Triangle will form in wave 4 or wave E or complex connection. So the locations. So that's the difference. Okay, making sense? What do you do for being so handsome? Pulapali. I talk to you people. Okay, that's why. Can we move session time to 4:30 or 5 p.m. for revision sessions? If possible, 3 to 4 less time to evaluate. Sure, we can think about it, Jui, not a problem. Let's see. We can do it for the mentees. We'll try and figure out the time, whatever best suits for everyone. That should be okay with me. Great, guys. So I'm okay. I'm just ending the poll. It's fantastic to have every one of you over here. Thanks for your time. I hope today's session was useful. We have forecasted market again. Let's see if it goes the way we expect it to go. And stay tuned. And we will keep doing this kind of programs for the mentees. It's going to be there, so don't worry on that. And for Master of Wave participants, if you have questions, doubts, post it on Traders Forum, tweet it across to me, and keep the learnings going. You know, that's very important. The learning should not stop. Keep it going and make it big. Thank you. And I wish you do very well as a wave practitioner. And if you are there with me for Master of Cycles on 19-20th Feb, we will do a lot of things and combine that with independently on with options. So we are going to do that. Thanks. Bye. Cheers.